Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. The latest episode of the Breakdown podcast went live last night, and Scump and Methodz are giving their thoughts on the CDL team of the Major 4, Major 3 in Texas. But Shotzzy was giving his thoughts on Anthony Methodz Zinni. A couple of strays going his way. Shotzzy was not slowing down against poor Zinni on the other side of the desk. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Plenty to dive into today. Firstly, on the rule set update version 1.4. This is mainly relevant, I would say, for ranked play. We'll see in a second, but also potentially for countering some cheating dramas going on in certainly the challenger scene. So the custom 762 is gone. I know this was preferred by a lot of mouse and keyboard players, but I think most players will probably be happy that this has been removed from the rule set now. But also weapon tuning is now officially banned in the rule set. If you, well, I guess none of your attachments can be tuned when you have competitive settings enabled. So tuning, if you guys aren't familiar, JoeDeceives' ridiculous idea to make infinite possibilities with all the weapons in the game. As in, you can take an attachment as it is. There's already like 130 of them. They already do enough different things, but you can take that attachment and you can change its properties very marginally, if you like, or to the extremes to make it even better or worse than it already is. Now, there's certain attachments this actually makes better. Certain attachments it probably doesn't. If you do the right thing or the wrong thing, I guess, well, I don't really know what's going on, but certain challenger players have potentially figured out the way to use this to its maximum advantage. And with it previously not being officially restricted, there has been some questions in challenges as to certain players that might have been abusing weapon tuning to make their guns even better than they should be. And okay, I guess it technically could happen in the Pro League as well, because it's rather difficult to actually stop it happening, especially online. But in challenges, there definitely was some theories going around that certain players were using it to their advantage. So now it's officially restricted. You can't load into a competitive rule set game with any tuning on, and at least as of today, or I think pretty much as of today, this is going to come into effect. So you know, maybe we're going to see some weapon tuning merchants in challenges. I don't know, that's a question. But also, of course, in ranked as well, that's now gone and weapon tuning is in there. So Trek again delivering the goods, and that is arriving today, 9 AM Pacific time. That's when the Season 2 Reloaded arrives with this update, but also with this update with the new map arriving. So we're hoping, because this really is our last chance to get a new map in for this year's cycle. Next year, if it is the same game, which I guess we still think it's going to be, then we're going to have all the old school Modern Warfare 2 maps come back, and hopefully we'll have an entirely revised map set for next season if it is going to be the same game again, which we still don't fully know. But this is the new map, this Himmelmatt Expo map, and this reminds me of many different maps from COD history. Firstly, it reminds me of Bailout, actually. If you guys remember Bailout from Modern Warfare 2, it was a DLC map. Okay, it's not exactly like Bailout, but it's got similar vibes just because it was also an Infinity Ward one. But there's parts of this map that remind me of certainly Stronghold from Black Ops 3, and even Arcitys reckons it reminds him a little bit of Metro from Black Ops 3, which I thought was quite a good shout as well. Also, there's like downhill Black Ops 2 vibes, I guess just because it's kind of snowy, and it almost looked like Express in parts, and parts of it look like that stadium map from Black Ops 1, so I don't know, lots of inspiration taken, but as you guys can see, there's a lot of different elements to this map, right? It's actually kind of huge. They go through again and again, like they go through all the different parts of the map here, and you think, oh, okay, that's nice, another point of interest on the map, and then they keep going and keep going and keep going, so it's quite a big map. Now, just because it's big doesn't necessarily mean that it's not viable, right? Because you look at maps like Elgato, that's massive, but for search and destroy and control, it actually kind of still works. And even there's other maps in COD history like Arclov Peak, or even like Miami from Black Ops Cold War, but it wasn't the greatest search and destroy map in that game, but nonetheless, it was big and it still worked. So there's hope that maybe that'll be the case here. Even RC says, thought I was looking at Metro from Black Ops 3, and actually I wanted to just point out specifically that I think it was, you know, this part here maybe that I thought reminded me an awful lot of the A-bomb site on Strongholds. Don't know if you guys thought the same way, but just the layout here and also just the way it was designed reminded me an awful lot of this map, which is one of my favorite maps ever from COD history. Now, look, do I think that Infinity Ward can deliver a map as good as Trek managed to make in Black Ops 3? Probably not, but, you know, nonetheless, I'm hoping it's going to be good, hoping it's going to be viable, and also apparently it's got 5 hills in hardpoint, which is obviously, I think, the ideal number. Yes, we played Mikado that has like 7, but still, for a map this size to have 5 is relatively optimistic, I think, for some people to say, because if they'd have launched it with like 8 or 9, like, it's probably short, to be honest, for use this in competitive. Now, look, obviously we want to get rid of Fortress Control, obviously there's other maps as well that we might want to get rid of, but as JoeDeceives says, okay, what map is going to go for this new Expo map coming in? RC's joking around about Hotel, and then as I think it was Doug says in the replies to JoeDeceives, it's like, okay, realistically though, we've got to get rid of Fortress Control, probably Hydro Hardpoint, and Fortress Surge, which I kind of agree are probably the three that should go most of all. Fortress Control is definitely the one to try and go. Hydro Hardpoint, though, to me isn't great. I mean, the water just is so funky on that map, to be honest. I feel like ideally there should be a replacement there. Fortress Search, I'm kind of either way on, but I don't mind if that one gets replaced. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, Fortress Control, there's got to be better options currently in the game, you would think. I mean, we've looked at Mikado, we've looked at Farm 18. There's got to be some map in this game that plays better than Fortress Control, you would imagine, or this new map arriving today will hopefully play better also. If it doesn't, then maybe it works for Hardpoint better than Hydro, maybe it works for Search better than Fortress. So hopefully we get something in at some point over the coming weeks, because this is the chance. There's 2 more stages and the World Championship. If you don't change the map set now, it's not going to change to the end of the season. So this is the chance for the pros to do it, to test some new things out, and hopefully this map is viable, as I'm sure many of the pros are hoping it will be viable, because it looks like it could be, at least on first impressions and vibes and the stuff you get from looking at these type of maps. Now I want to talk about the OpTic situation as well. So as Huke says, Random but COD is a great game where the team is in sync, happy to see the growth of everyone in the team, and also thought this was kind of crazy from JP Krez. Now he's not exactly trashing on iLLeY or anything, but he's just, well, highlighting how Shotzzy has improved when Ghosty has joined the team. So as he says here, of course, analyst for OpTic Texas, these are the type of stats that he tracks on a daily basis. Dashy's been consistent, Huke has been better, but Shotzzy has been way better since Ghosty's been there, which does make sense, right? Because Shotzzy said that towards the end of iLLeY's time on the team, Shotzzy was doing a lot of the in-game leading. He was doing the calling, he was calling the shots, he was thinking, and, you know, flow state has been a big term that's been thrown around over the last few days, but just to use it again, if Shotzzy's having to be the one to make the calls and to think all the time, then he can't absolutely lock in as, well, he seemingly has, certainly at Major 3. And look at these, so these are the ranks in terms of players in the league, so I guess out of the 48 players, where does Shotzzy sit? And this is specifically Hardpoint. So in Stage 2, Shotzzy was 31st in True KD. Not exactly sure what True KD refers to, whether that's kind of, you know, adjusted to based on the role or something of the player. I don't exactly know, but I'm sure JP has a good explanation for that one. Also KDA, so straight up kills, deaths, and assists. He was 38th in the league. Now he's 7th. True KD's gone up to 5th. Kills per minute has gone from 10th in the league to 1st. SMG damage per 10 minutes or per minute or whatever, it doesn't really matter, has gone from 14th to 4th. Rotation KD is pretty remarkable. Gone from 27th in the league to 1st. So I guess that's in the last 20 seconds of each hardpoint, like when you're rotating. What's the KD there? Shotzzy's the best in the league at that right now. Traded death percentage has gone way up, so has non-traded kill percentage. So he's getting traded more often, and he's getting kills without getting traded more often. So, you know, key turnaround there from Shotzzy, and JP's giving Ghosty a lot of credit for allowing that to be the case. Now, of course, last night they were discussing concepts like these on the breakdown, and they had Shotzzy do a bit of a call-in, which of course makes sense with Scump and Methodz. And look, he was given some premium gas to Scump. The other way around, though, for Zinni, and I thought this was very entertaining. Even earlier in the day, I think it was earlier in the day, possibly later in the day, but he was reviewing, well, a VOD from the Modern Warfare 2019 days in the CDL 2020, when it was all online, of course, and this was Toronto versus Dallas, and this is, of course, Methodz on this team at the time. I believe, yeah, the team that ended up winning this event at the end of the season, and they played Dallas in this series, and, you know, he was going in on Zinni here and also elsewhere.
Higher map, they don't put it as Zinni, bro. They know, well, like, bro, I'm not trying, all right, here. But they did, but listen, they put it, wait, bro. They put it to him when he's on a heady, though. You know what I'm saying? They put it to him when he's on a heady, though. Like, that's what I'm saying, though, bro. Like, Zinni ain't crazy. Like, that's what I'm saying. He's B knocking at the door to A, because he's not crazy, bro. Like, he's on the heady, bro. Like, that's when they put it to Zinni. They ain't gonna put it on Zinni when he's, like, when he's not on the heady. I'm telling you, bro. Like, look at it. And he probably gets slammed right here, low key. Wait, let's keep watching. Let's see if they put it anywhere else. Let's see. He's on a heady. He's on it. Like, bro, you ain't doing anything crazy, bro. Respectfully, dude. Like, you're literally on a heady, dude. And he still gets slammed.
I'm gonna start off with the first question. How's it feel to not have to carry my old ass anymore? Give it to me straight.
You're an idiot. I miss you, dude. Nah, I actually do miss you. You know, our what do you say?
Oh no, it's just cute. Keep going.
Nah, I mean, like, you were. I mean, I already told you this, but you were definitely one of my favorite teammates, and you know, it's definitely weirder without you, but.
Oh, we're glazing.
I'm about to break down and start crying. I mean, it's gonna be a real breakdown. I appreciate that, man. I thought it was gonna be a trollier answer than that, but.
Oh yeah. No. You were an amazing teammate, but yeah, no, we were both trolly. I feel like you got a lot of flack in terms of like your play style and all that, but you were actually definitely one of the unselfish players that I've ever played with. So
that's insane.
Wait. But Ant, thank you.
Thanks, Ant.
We love you.
Yes,
I
sir.
hate you, but you're a talent, man, and you're dumb.
Thank you, Zinni. Zinni, your dog. You've only won 2 events. I'm out of here, boys. Peace out.
What the
God, he's right down the hall.
dude? I'll go spear him right now.
That is insane.
I'll go spear him right now. What a sack! What a sack of.
I mean, that guy.
So look, Zinni's a good guy, but Shotzzy does have a point that, okay, maybe Methodz didn't win as much in his career as he arguably should have done. Okay, he won a couple of events. One of them was on LAN. One of them was that online Toronto Ultra Home Series that we saw just then. I did decide to look up here all of Methodz' victories in COD history, and this is what they look like. So starting with the New Jersey, I'm guessing that is Halo Codzilla 2012, which I don't even know if this had a prize pool. This is back in Modern Warfare 3, 2012 with Scump, Nadeshot, BLFire, and Methodz. Don't exactly know what that was, but it's pretty entertaining stuff. There was a 2v2 tournament he won with Saints back in UMD Chicago. Then he won 4 kind of 2K series between Ghost and then didn't really do much for a couple of years before coming back in World War II. Of course, his big event victory and the one that he's most known for in terms of actually getting over the line was Atlanta 2018 when he was on the team of Rise. He was one of the best ARs in the game, if not the best at that specific moment. Was great in World War II in general, and he got the MVP of that tournament with Looney, TJ, and Gunners to win it, but was then shortly thereafter dropped for Slasher, and then Slasher went on to win that team 2 more events in Anaheim and Seattle for the rest of the season. And okay, he was top 1-2 in Stage 1, Stage 2 that year on Rise and then on OpTic, and people say this OpTic team was terrible. Like, it really wasn't terrible. It was actually better than the majority of teams. They just did bad at Champs. Like, outside of Champs, they actually weren't bad, because Crimsix was great at that game, as was Methodz. Octane, of course, is Octane, and Scump is Scump. They were great at hardpoint, that team, but it just didn't work out, and the roles didn't make any sense anyway, to be honest, but they just had so much talent that they could kind of make it work, especially in the respawns. This wasn't like a first place, this is merely like just placed first during the Pro League matches type thing of the season, rather than actually winning an event. But he did win in Toronto, well, not in Toronto, but online at the Toronto Week 13 home series in Call of Duty 2020 League, and of course he took that event, he 1v2'd in the grand finals, final map to get the job done. So, I mean, yeah, maybe Methodz gets a bit of a bad rap for not winning as much as he should have done, but at the same time, when you compare Methodz to some of the other OG players that have been around a decade plus, he didn't really win as much as some of those other guys did. The other thing those guys brought up was the team of the major team of the week, I guess, for Major 3. These are the guys they went for. So Cellium, Scrappy, Pred, and Shotzzy. I think this is pretty difficult to say for me, because Scrappy has got to be there, MVP of the event. I would say that Shotzzy deserves to be there as well on his performance for sure. I really want to put CleanX on here, though. I feel like you can't really not have CleanX on here. Just, okay, Pred was ridiculous this entire major stint, including the qualifiers, and it's tough to, like, where do I put Pred in my kind of MVP rankings right now? It's kind of tough, because Pred is just playing at an incredible level, but the team just hasn't really got any results this year, so it's tough to say. But to me, I'd have to put CleanX in here somewhere, because he was just unbelievable this weekend. I'd probably just have to put him in over Pred. And then I guess someone from FaZe is deserved. Cellium obviously makes sense, but you know, I also feel like Dashy shouldn't be too far away from these conversations. So pretty interesting stuff. I don't know what you guys think in the comments below. Cellium is always such an interesting discussion to me, because even lately the topic's been coming up again, even from FaZe, Ben J and Asim on the flank. He was talking about the fact that Cellium, oh well, you know, maybe isn't as impactful at times as it could be. I'm sure we'll talk about that in the coming days as well, if it's a topic that continues to recur. And also wanted to give some credit here to Scrappy and Hicksy, who put together this, well, I thought it was pretty remarkable actually, that these guys have been around in challenges, of course, last season, and at the 5 LANs they've attended, including one now in the Pro League, they've got to 5 finals and they've won 3 of those championships. Like last year in challenges, they were killing it, and it's the same story again this year. Of course, well, CDL tweeted out that only 2 rookies in COD history have won their Pro LAN event that they attended. Of course, Bobby was the same deal with Scump on this team, so X wanted to make sure that correction was issued. But also, if you look at rookies and duos that have won championships, like rookie duos and trios, so Scump and Bobby, Twiz and John, of course, a lot of these are way back in the day, which makes sense, but these are guys that are won as a duo or a trio event in their first season competing together. Zuma and Study back in Ghost, Sensor and Virus in Black Ops 1, wow, that's a long time ago. Arcitys, Pristini, Gunners, of course, in Infinite Warfare very memorably, and then in recent times, not that much, apart from Shotzzy, Pred, Sib, and now Scrappy Hicksy in Modern Warfare 2. So very much interested to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.
He gifted if you creep up on Shotzzy and scream and jump scare him. Oh my god.
Damn. He's like, oh my god, should I push that kid out, or like, is there a guy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, this... Oh, that is so... Oh my god, you scared the out of me. Oh my god, bro. He definitely got some gift. Holy